I'm so excited for my next guest to come on this morning, and I got to tell you, Mike Debate will join me at the bottom of the hour, but I just want to dive right into it. Please welcome former NFL defensive back, spent time with the Dolphins, the Cowboys, and was drafted by the Packers. Mr. George Teague is on the other side of the hotline right now. How are you, my friend? Good to talk to you.
Man, thank you very much for having me on. Really appreciate it, bro. I'm doing well.
How are you holding up in this pandemic, man? Are you missing football as much as the rest of us are doing?
Of course I am. I'm just glad that we're able to at least see some resemblance of it coming back.
Yeah.
But man, it's been tough. Just being quarantined at the house, not living a normal life that we normally have. But overall, it's been good though. Just being able to spend time with family and staying safe. So I don't know. I'm looking forward to August though.
Sure. I echo those sentiments big time. I'm looking forward to August and to some football myself. Speaking of football, you were drafted by the Packers and drafted in 1993. What was that culture like up in Green Bay at that time?
You know what? It's actually a really great place to play. The atmosphere is almost like it's like a college feel. The town is very small. 80,000, 90,000 people in the city of Green Bay. With a big old giant stadium in the middle of it.
It feels like a college town, doesn't it?
It does. Yeah, it's really cool because they shut everything down on Sundays, other than the local bar you can go to, but everybody's at the game. And it just is really fun to play. Now, if you can get rid of the cold and the snow and the sub-degree weather, it'd probably be better, but that's part of it, though.
Yeah, it is part of it. George Teague joining me here, relating his experiences to yours truly. I've heard so many stories about the fans at Lambeau Field, and they're mostly good ones. Do they really congratulate you if you make a big defensive play and you have a chance to do a Lambeau leap? I've seen the fans get into it. You've experienced it live. Is it really as live as it looks?
No, it really is. It's electric. It is definitely electric. Just the whole atmosphere of how they, even before game or in game, not just the Lambeau Leap. It's a really fun place. The fans are genuine. They don't show enough, I think, of what happens for practices, when kids are giving up their bikes for the athletes, to ride, to practice. It's a great tradition. I know other teams aren't doing it. I feel like they should highlight that because it's just unbelievable. The friends I've made, or I have now, riding a kid's bike who was, 6 years old, 7 years old, and we're still friends now because he used to let me ride his bike from, stadium to the practice and back. So there's great friendships made. They're truly into it, love the Packers. Didn't matter who you are, what you did, or how bad you were, how good you were. It's just a really good football feeling, that's for sure.
A couple of future Hall of Famers on that squad who are now Hall of Famers. The late, great Reggie White and Brett Favre brought a big time energy to the team. And like I said, you were a part of that. What was it like playing with those guys?
Man, it's unreal. And I came in the same year Brett Favre came in. So we had our little bumps, but we got into the playoffs. That was the beginning of the run towards Super Bowl, and then having the Minister of Defense come in, having Reggie White come in, who was a good mentor for me and my wife, being new into the league. Being the guy that he was, he really turned me on to a lot of different stuff off the field too. So when you have icons, like that around you who are very personable, I think that was why Green Bay was so different too, is just because of the way they brought in, a certain type of guys who tend to be family guys or more down to earth is not the word, but just casual. I mean, you can't imagine just sitting there with Brett Favre just talking trash and
Yeah.
being boys in the locker room. It's the same way with Reggie. Just good, wholesome people who just like to have fun, but were very, very good at their craft.
Did anything change in your mind culture-wise when you went to either Dallas or Miami?
Yes, I think it was small differences in each place. So I'll start with Miami. I mean, it was not nearly like the same type of feeling. It was not. The locker room just wasn't the same. It wasn't the same kind of family feel. And I don't know if it's just because of the culture in Miami. It's a big city, all this kind of stuff. It was very glamorous, and I think that's why we probably didn't have as much success as we need to have down there, because it just spread out. You didn't have the ability to be so close, to your teammates. Dallas was probably closer to Green Bay in the sense of locker room, because we were very, very tight knit group here, and the size of the city didn't get in the way of how we played, because the guys found a way to make sure that we stayed close together. But the fans were still different. Just although they're fun and loud and that kind of stuff, it just when you go into the stadium, it's just one place. Green Bay, you got guys with shirts off and paint on their chest like college, and Dallas, part of it. You walk in and a lot of guys are in dress shirts and slacks. So it's just kind of different. Really different.
Oh man, former NFL defensive back George Teague joining me here on the program. From what you're telling me, I can guess, was Green Bay I can guess, but I'll ask, is Green Bay the place where you had the most fun as a player on and off the field?
Yeah. So if we're using the fun word, I would say absolutely. When I speak of the two, it's easy for me to say that. I mean, it was just. I mean, we wanted to make our home in Green Bay. That probably would have been a place that we would have wanted to play, forever. Just because we really, really liked the people, and the community, and we were very, very involved in it. It felt like Alabama football. It felt like, my high school team. Yes, it felt like that. And then when I get into Green Bay, to Dallas, it was a little different. Although I had really, really good playing days, I think my game might have got better. But when you talk about, okay, well, how fun was it? I really got caught up into the business side of it, so it wasn't quite as fun, I guess.
Yeah.
It truly became work at that point, and just business. So, it was 4 years of that, just trying to, keep making your mark. So that made it very, very tough.
Yeah, totally understand that. How much fun did you have at Alabama? Because I saw you play in many a game at Alabama, and the lone play I will forever remember you for was that chase down turnover in the national championship game in 1992.
Mm-hmm. I got great memories there too. I did not know I was going to eventually go to Alabama, because I didn't grow up there. A lot of people, really think, I had two choices. It was either Alabama or Auburn or something like that. But because my dad was in the military, I didn't even move into Alabama until my, end of my ninth grade year.
Right.
So going to Alabama, I think I know outside of Bill Curry recruiting me, I really liked the atmosphere. It's not even what it is now. But it was a great place. It was serious with the academics and you can get your stuff, but there was enough to do to let your hair down a little bit and be a young college kid, you know. Plus, I was only 90 minutes away from home.
So right.
It's kind of easy to get an escape when I needed it as well. So, I mean, it was awesome to be able to put my hand, you know, be a captain, put my hand in that cement and be there by Denny chimes, you know, forever, and that kind of thing. So when I don't take that lightly when I say Green Bay, and it was really cool to leave Alabama and go to Green Bay because of the similar atmospheres, college town to college town felt like.
Mm-hmm.
But I got lucky, man. I really got lucky because we were basically running the same defense as well. So I made my transition a whole lot easier. That's kind of cool.
Gotta love it. And now you're a football coach for the John Paul II Cardinals. And in 3 seasons' time, you took them from never winning a playoff game to a state championship. When you got there, what was the first thing you wanted to establish with the Cardinals?
The very first thing I needed to do was establish some toughness. We had really, really good guys and maybe even good players. They were definitely smart. But our physical ability wasn't where it needed to be to compete with the teams that we were having to face. Man, when I took the job, they were average losing by 50 points.
Ouch.
Yeah, it wasn't good. So my first deal was fix the weight room. I mean, that's where it had to start for me. I got 2 new strength coaches, hired a whole new football staff, changed the philosophy in the weight room, and started getting our mental piece right. Knew I still wasn't going to be fast enough and things of that nature, but I knew if I can at least get them to run into somebody and not feel like they're about to get hurt, that would help. That's my Alabama side right there for sure. And that's how we started. You know, we ended up winning a couple games, getting into the playoffs. Still didn't win it. But, you know, they were just built onto that. And then I went into speed. Okay, now let's get a little bit faster. And we got better, you know, there too. And then, you know, after year 3, we put them both together. Speed and physicalness. I already had the smarts. That's my motto. You want it fast, smart, and physical. Like if I can get them to do those 3 things, I feel like we'd be successful. And worked out pretty well for us last year.
Well, I wish you much, much more success and much more titles in your run as state coach of the John Paul II Cardinals, my friend. And I want to thank you for coming on to my program. I really appreciate it.
No, thank you very much for your time, and hit me up anytime, man. I appreciate it.
Hey, I appreciate having you. Hey, folks, don't forget, Monkey Knife Fight is where you want to go if you want to make some money by playing some daily fantasy prop games. You can sign up at monkeyknifefight.com. Use the code Snowman, that's me, and you'll get a 100% matching deposit on up to $50 at Monkey Knife Fight. It's growing fast, and you definitely want to be a part of it. Go to monkeyknifefight.com. Sign up today. They'll match your deposit 100% on up to $50, and you can play some games and win some money. Man, this is getting more loaded by the moment. The big dog himself, Shane Lake, will join me briefly, and then Mike Debate will close the show. Back in a flash.